Hi there and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole and today we'll be previewing next Tuesday's meeting here from Fanny Bay, which of course will be Anzac Day, the 25th of April. With some 11 days since our last meeting, the fields for the feature Anzac Day fixture are certainly more than acceptable, with some 42 acceptors and 9 riders in attendance. Jessica Valenti, formerly Jessica Gray, will be here on Tuesday, and the WA-based rider enjoyed good success at her last stint in the top end. The first race gets underway at the mid-afternoon time of 3:13 p.m, while the last of the handful is scheduled to jump at 5:37 p.m. In the first, my numbers are 1, 5 and 8, and of course that's the 2-up Trobus Class 2 handicap over 1,300 metres. Going here with number 1, Bartolini from the stable of Phil Cole, and Emma Lyons. Wasn't great to see Emma back in winning form at the last meeting here. She won the first race at that meeting. I think she can win the first race at this meeting. She takes the mount on Bartolini. He's been racing well. He's had 4 starts in Darwin after racing well in Alice Springs, and he's finished 2 seconds and 2 thirds, so twice second, twice third. He has been placed over this trip of 1,300. That was at his last start when he finished second behind Thunder Peak. He's dropping in grade, and I think he gets his opportunity here with Emma's 3 kilo claim. Number 1 on top. To beat number 5, New Enterprise, from the stable of Pete Stennett, and Stan Sakos takes the mount this week. Finished third here over a mile. That was at our last meeting, and that was behind Urley Did It. He's dropping back in trip to the 1,300 and also in grade, but I think he's now in some form, and I think he can go on with the job. And then for third, number 8, Tough Nut. Mark 9 trained, Sonia Wiseman rides. He's racing consistently without winning. Gets another chance here to put his foot right on the till. So my numbers in the first are 1, 5 and 8. The second, the Lest We Forget handicap, this over the 1,200 metres. This is the benchmark 54 event, and my numbers here are 3, 2 and 1. Going here with 3, Raffelli. He's getting close to a win for Tayan Holter. Paul Shire's in the saddle. He's been riding the horse regularly recently. He was third the other day behind Patria and only beaten 1.6 on that occasion. That was a pretty good effort. He drops in trip back from the 1,300 to the 1,200, but shouldn't worry him. And I thought he's deserving of a win, gets his chance on Tuesday. Number 3, to beat number 2, Hinestrosa from the Gary Clark stable. Jared Todd in the saddle. He's drawn the 1 gate. When he's allowed his own rules, this horse, he's a bit tricky to get past. So I think Hinestrosa, coming off the back of a last start win here on the 4th of March, will be right in the picture again. And in for third, number 1, All Hard Wood, a newcomer to Darwin. This one in the stable of Chris Pollard, formerly trained by Richard Lamming and also by John Hickmott. He's now in the Pollard stable, as we mentioned. Hasn't raced since the 27th of August last year, so he's had a good long break. But he is the winner of 7 races and $280,000 in stakes. I thought he could go a bold race in a fresh state. So my numbers in the second are 3, 2 and 1. The third's the Thank You Defence Personnel handicap. Note the defence personnel do a great job in defending the borders here of Australia. And this one over the 1,200 metres for the 0 to 64 gallopers. My numbers are 1, 6 and 2. He's racing so well, isn't he, Archie James, number 1, trained by Chris Nash and Sonia Wiseman aboard. She's got a great record on the horse. She's unbeaten on him for three rides, I think she's had on him for 3 wins. And that last start win was on the 31st of March. He's had 3 weeks between runs, had a little bit of a freshen up, Archie James, but just going so well, he looks very hard to beat here again. Number 1, to beat 6, Soul Spirit. Created a good impression when winning at her first start in the top end. 4-year-old mare trained by Phil Cole, and Emma Lyons takes the mount here and will claim the 3 kilos and brings Soul Spirit right into this. Going up in trip from its last start winning performance, that was at 1,000 metres. Dashed home to beat Doc O'Connor on the 31st of March and should be right in the party again. And in for third, number 2, Patria. One last time out here, deserved to win, and Jared Todd for Gary Clark. Down in trip, shouldn't worry Patria, and should be there or thereabouts once again. In the third, my numbers are 1, 6 and 2. In the fourth, the Anzac Day handicap. This is the 1,100 metres for the ABR gallopers, the basically higher graded gallopers. It's an ABR 69, and my numbers here are 5, 1 and 2. Well, she was back in winning form at the last meeting, Bell's Banner, trained by Gary Clark, of course, and Jared Todd in the saddle again. She was good the other day, over 1,000. Steps up and trip to the 1,100 metres, but she has won twice and been placed twice second and once third from 7 runs at the Journey. So with that last start win and confidence under her belt, I think she'll take a lot of beating again. In for second, number 1, Cielo Doro. Emma Lyons for Phil Cole. Hasn't raced since the 17th of February, but was racing in tremendous fashion before having a little break. And in for third, number 2, Mr. Cashman. Stan Sakos for Gary Clark. He's also comes off a freshen up, hasn't raced since the 17th of Feb. He finished fourth on that occasion behind Sakaro. Found this a really tough race though. You've got the likes of Al Magnificence from the Never Never, Blueberry Boy and Brazen Pine that make up the field. So a tough one, but I've settled on the numbers of 5, 1 and 2. Our last on Anzac Day is the Light Horseman Handicap. It's over the 1,100 metres as well for the 0 to 58 gallopers. Numbers here are 5, 1 and 8. Fraction late for me, number 5 from the stable of David Bates and Paul Shires. He could be in for a half decent day. He's got some decent rides on Tuesday. And Fraction Late's run here the other day behind Global Wonder was good. Hadn't raced since the 10th of September. So it was fresh up. Should be improved by that, you would think. Tessa Townsend rode on that occasion. As we say, Sharesy goes aboard here. And I think knocking on the door, Fraction Late, number 5. Ahead of 1, Brahmavi Ruboy from the stable of Chris Pollard. And Jess Valenti takes them out here. Jess up from WA for the meeting. She has 5 rides on the card, so good to see her here. Brahmavi Ruboy, he's fresh. Hasn't had a run since the 12th of November. But he's a pretty capable sort and raced well last campaign without winning. So I've got him in to go a bold one in a fresh state. And in for third, number 8, 1 for Anna. She's speedy. She gets the services of Stan Sakos. She, of course, is trained by Chris Nash. Was a winner 3 starts back. Her last couple of runs, or certainly her last start, wasn't bad. That was behind Soul Spirit. And I'll give her a chance of filling a dividend here. So my numbers in the last are 5, 1 and 8. Best bet of the day in the first. Let's get off on the right note here. Hopefully race 1, number 1, Bartolini. Race 1, number 1, Bartolini. Well, the best roughie in the last. Race 5, number 9, Pop Magic. Race 5, number 9, Pop Magic comes from the Inform Ella Clark stable and has the services of Jared Todd. Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk, and we now have a break of another 11 days to our next meeting here in the Top End. That, of course, will be Saturday, the 6th of May. A year's flying by. Before you know it, we'll be in carnival mode here. And incidentally, all the best to the team in the Red Centre for the last 3 days of their carnival in Alice Springs. Until next time, good luck and good punting.